My name is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's the home of the 5-minute or less video. I can talk fast enough and you can comprehend enough for me to give you enough information to have all the information you need to make an educational decision that you need, and more importantly, so you don't get ripped off by other people telling you a bunch of garbage out there. I look at some of these YouTubes out there. I just wonder who these people have got to be actors trying to put information up, because a lot of the information isn't correct. Many of you, go through and look at 4 or 5 people, but just so you know, I've worked about 10,000 IRS cases. I have been doing this since 1973. I worked for IRS for a decade, so whatever I tell you pretty much is going to be the gospel. So, by the way, I have a whole team of former IRS agents on my staff. And if you want to use this, you can. If you don't, you don't. My information's below. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about, did IRS prepare your return? What do you need to do? So let me tell you how this process works so you understand what IRS does. IRS goes ahead and they keep all the information, the income information, W-2, 1099 information on you for 6 years. You can go on irs.gov and pull up your own transcripts. Ask for your account history transcripts and your wage and income transcripts, and you will find out the information that IRS has on you. Well, what the computer does, it will find that, oh, we have 1099s and W-2s, and we don't have a tax return matched up to those. So what does IRS do? IRS sends you a letter, IRS sends you a notice that says, are you going to file your return? You don't answer the notice, you don't contact you, so what does IRS do? They file a substitute for return. They're called SFRs. As a former IRS agent, if someone didn't file a return, they'd come into my office, I would prepare that return under 6020A, because I prepared their return and they agreed to it. If IRS does this and they don't contact you and you don't file it, they prepare it under section code 6020B. So IRS is just going to prepare your return, send you a bill, and say, pay us. What do you do when that happens? Well, most of those notices, IRS is going to inflate the tax and make sure you pay the very most. At that time, when you get that letter, you better go ahead and contact IRS and say, I better file my original tax returns because I'm going to go ahead and reduce the debt. Now, let's say that you go ahead and it's months later you found out IRS did a substitute return. That happens a lot. You know why? Because people move, you didn't get the letter, and you find out, oh, I have an assessment, a lien filed. I didn't know IRS prepared my return. You can go ahead and file an original return, thus changing the 6020B return IRS prepared under the substitute for return. So if you find out this is the case, go file an original tax return with IRS. If you're within the 3 years, try to upload it on e-file, but put on the top of the return, this return is the original tax return. You're going to be in for a little battle, but you'll win if you pursue. You can try this yourself, you can hire a professional, but it's a long process to undo this, especially now with the state of IRS. So once again, if IRS prepared your tax return, if IRS filed a substitute return for you and you're finding out late, you can undo the whole process. So don't worry. Remember, IRS, when they file the return, is only picking up the income and no expenses. So you're going to find a really inflated figure. Don't wait till the very end of this happens, because if it does, IRS can go ahead, if they play this out, file a lien, a levy, and a wage garnishment. If you need to get a hold of us, my information is in the description section. IRS files millions of substitute for returns a year, and the better their computer systems get and the more agents they hire, the more they're going to follow up on this. If this information was helpful, please go ahead and give me a subscription. YouTube evaluates us to move us up the ranks once they find out the information's good, but they do that through your subscriptions. If you have a comment for me, go ahead and leave it. You'll find my information in the description section. Happy to do a YouTube for you. Thank you for listening, and yes, I am under the 5-minute mark. I'm at 5:42. I did it. I look to hear from you, and I love your comments. Thank you very much. Don't forget a subscription. Thank you.